the silent darkness of Gethsemane, Jesus wasn't simply praying. He knew exactly what was coming. His body was already beginning to collapse. Modern medicine calls this phenomenon hematidrosis, a rare condition in which extreme stress causes the skin's capillaries to rupture, blood mixed with sweat seeping through his pores. He wasn't just sweating, was bleeding inside, the first drop of an oncoming flood of pain. Then came Judas. A traitorous kiss marked the moment. And instantly the soldier's brutal hands closed over Jesus' already weakened body. He didn't struggle. There were no muscle contractions, no instinct for self-preservation. His body was tossed about like a sack of rags as Judas disappeared into the darkness, and the crowd gathered, curious people peering through doorways, children pointing at him. Jesus was brought to trial, but the sentence had already been decided before the trial even began. Jewish law prohibited night trials, but the rush to condemn him overcame any justice. Before the high priest Caiaphas, Jesus was accused of blasphemy and immediately condemned. Guards clamped their fists over his face, punching, slapping, and spitting, drawing screams of pain from a body that could barely react. Every mocking gesture, every spit, slap, or punch treated Jesus like an animal, but he remained silent, bearing everything with superhuman dignity. Throughout that night, the humiliation continued. Soldiers would cover his head, striking and spitting on him, mocking his claim to kingship. The physical pain was only part of it. The loneliness and rejection of his disciples added an even deeper wound. Pedro, his closest friend, denied him 3 times, just as Jesus had predicted. At dawn, the Jewish leaders, dissatisfied with Caiaphas' verdict, took Jesus to Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, since they did not have the authority to carry out the death penalty. The accusation was now political. Jesus proclaimed himself king, challenging Caesar's authority. Pilate initially tried to release him by offering the Passover tradition of allowing the people to choose between Jesus and Barabbas, a notorious criminal. The crowd chose Barabbas, and Pilate washed his hands, symbolizing that he was not responsible for Jesus' death. He was handed over to be flogged and crucified. Roman flogging was brutal. The whip, called a flagrum, consisted of several leather strips studded with metal and bone fragments designed to tear the skin, injuring muscles, tendons, and blood vessels. Each blow penetrated deeply, causing lacerations and internal bleeding, leaving Jesus weakened on the verge of collapse. After the scourging, the psychological humiliation continued. They dressed him in a red cloak, mockingly symbolizing royalty, and pressed a crown of thorns against his head, intensifying the suffering. Even exhausted and bleeding, Jesus was forced to carry his cross. The horizontal part weighed 30 to 50 kilograms, an impossible burden for someone in his condition. Every step was a battle against extreme pain, torn muscles, blood loss, and the scorching Palestinian sun, which increased the risk of dehydration. On several occasions, he fell under the weight of the cross, until Simon of Cyrene was compelled to help him. The crowd surrounded him, mocking him and calling him the King of the Jews, their rejection intensifying the emotional pain. Finally, Jesus arrived at the place of crucifixion, positioned between two criminals. Stripped of his clothes in front of everyone, nailed to the cross, his hands and feet pierced with iron nails that hit nerves and blood vessels, making every breath an unbearable struggle. The position strained his lungs, making it difficult to breathe, while pain radiated throughout his body. Religious leaders and onlookers mocked him, challenging him to save himself if he truly was the Son of God. For 6 hours, Jesus endured physical and spiritual suffering. Exhausted, dehydrated, and bleeding, he finally uttered his last words, "It is finished." A final gasp, possibly caused by the collapse of the cardiovascular system due to extreme blood loss, marked the end of his physical suffering. When a Roman soldier pierced his side, blood and water came out, indicating that his heart had ruptured, releasing accumulated pericardial fluid. It was then that the soldier recognized, surely this man was the Son of God. The crucifixion of Jesus reveals a unique combination of physical torture, psychological humiliation, and spiritual suffering that remains one of the darkest events in human history. Good Friday reminds us, to this day, of the extreme price paid for redemption, a testament to the depth of love and sea.